Now, let me tell you the legislation that is most relevant and is cause for the greatest discouragement. The National Defense Authorization Act, which, as I say, was just signed, for the first time in the United States history, explicitly allows the President to indefinitely detain without charge any suspected terrorist who is captured even within the United States. This can include U.S. citizens and U.S. persons. With regard to U.S. citizens, the provision that was signed into law does not expressly exclude their detention without charge or trial. That's Section 1021 in the National Defense Authorization Act of 2011. The current authority of the President, which is what people say would not be affected, unfortunately, is very unclear. Now, those who argued on the floor of the House and the Senate that civil liberties are protected in the United States, I don't think fully consider the implications, and many of you are taking notes, so I'll be specific, of subsection E of 1021. Because it says that the law should not be construed to affect existing law or authority relating to United States citizens. But the reality is that current law on the scope of the President's authority to indefinitely detain is unsettled. It's not clear. So when you say it doesn't affect it, it doesn't affect law that has not been clarified. And in fact, the U.S. government in the Padilla case, as well as the Almari case, so it's as recent as 2009, claimed that the President had the authority to detain a suspected terrorist captured within the United States indefinitely without charge or trial. So, the claim of executive detention authority for people captured within the United States has not been tested. The state of the law at present is unclear. That's very important to say. Because people need to understand that not only is Guantanamo a foreign policy embarrassment, but it has profoundly undermined the constitutional protections of all United States citizens. Now, the subsequent section, Section 1022, would force the military to indefinitely detain without charge or trial anyone who is a member of Al-Qaeda, associated forces, or anyone suspected of planning or attempting a terrorist attack. The key word is suspected. That language, 1022, doesn't prohibit the detention of United States citizens. Now, this may seem somewhat legalistic, but the legalism we're talking about is a basic constitutional protection. To ask people to think about this, we've now passed legislation over the President's objection that allows the military, no person in military uniform ever volunteered or was enlisted into the military for the purpose of taking action against American citizens. It's to protect American citizens. And yet the law, as we read it, says the military now has the right to detain indefinitely without writ of habeas corpus people who are suspected of terrorist activities. Suspected. That's a fundamental erosion of everything we stand for as a nation of law. So people need to know this is in your interest. This is in the interest of your children and grandchildren. We can't allow this to continue. You need to understand it, and then you need to speak out and change it. That's why I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.